Joanna, come on in. It's a great day, huh? Hashtag happy hump day. How's hashtag college life treating you?
Hey, I'm alright. Hashtag started from the bottom, now I'm here. But I wanted to stop by and talk to you about my major. Hashtag first world problems. I've just been feeling so hashtag overwhelmed because there are so many hashtag opportunities. I don't feel like I know what I want to do with hashtag the rest of my life. Hashtag life decisions. Hashtag what? Hashtag
Don't worry, most college students have been in your spot. The best way to decide what you want to study is to think about what you like. What are you hashtag committed to? What are you hashtag passionate about?
Hashtag, how do I know what I'm hashtag committed to?
Well, the best way to know what you're committed to is to reflect on yourself and be conscious about yourself. The more you understand about yourself, the fewer unknowns you have about yourself. Hashtag quadrants, hashtag Johari window, hashtag leadership for a better world, hashtag 7Cs. So, let's think, what kind of things do you like? What are you doing so far in college?
Well, I've always seen myself as a leader, and I'm in PLP, and I like serving and volunteering. Hashtag LEAD100, hashtag flipper props, hashtag we go hard, hashtag YOLO. But how do I know that's what I want to do with the rest of my life? Hashtag the agony.
From having talked to you in the past, I definitely know you're a leader. Leadership is a learning process that enables people to work effectively with others to create change throughout their lives. Hashtag SCM, hashtag Big Orange Book. One thing I would recommend is committing yourself to a group that shares your same values and passions. Make a point of spending serious, devoted time to a certain cause and see if you like it. Hashtag extracurriculars, hashtag get it.
I've joined some groups, but I don't really get along with them or share their values. I've tried hashtag sororities, hashtag chess club, hashtag underwater basket weaving, hashtag Quidditch, hashtag I haven't actually tried Quidditch, hashtag, but that would be hashtag the bomb, hashtag what do you call a coughing Quidditch commentator, hashtag a Weasley, hashtag hashtag LOLOLOLOLOLOLOLO, hashtag classic.
Why haven't those groups been a good fit for you? Is it a problem of values or just the people in the groups? Hashtag haters gonna hate.
Values. I feel like I act one way around those people and another way around my friends, mostly because the people in the groups don't share my same values. They don't spend much time serving in their communities, and that's something that's really important to me. Hashtag not cool, man.
It sounds like you're having a problem like someone in this book, hashtag unlikely disciple. The main character, Kevin Roos, hashtag MCM, hashtag Man Crush Monday, portrayed himself differently to his friends at Liberty than he portrayed himself to his friends at Brown, hashtag liar liar pants on fire. He ended up having some tough times because he wasn't congruent with those around him, hashtag bummer.
Can I still support those groups in their efforts without being a part of them? I really like the people in the groups I've joined, and I want to support them, but I just don't feel like I connect with them. Hashtag no bueno, hashtag sad day.
Of course, that's called being a hashtag ally. Allies are people who support a group but don't relate to them on a deep level. However, you want to make sure you find a group you can truly deeply connect with. That's called being a hashtag insider, hashtag social identities, hashtag insider swag.
That sounds perfect. Do you think the people in a group like that would support me with trying to find a major? Hashtag yellow swag, hashtag BFF, hashtag support, hashtag lean on me, hashtag when you're not strong, hashtag oldie but goodie, hashtag sorry not sorry.
Absolutely, especially if they see you being congruent. Take hashtag Uruguay, for example. The government is being congruent with their people, and the people are supporting the government in return. But in hashtag Chile, the government is being incongruent, and the people aren't happy. Hashtag other countries, hashtag America, hashtag government shutdown, hashtag talk it out, hashtag take a breather.
I heard about that in my class. Hashtag I read some article. Hashtag did anyone even understand that article? Hashtag Mooch's confusion. Hashtag no one even read it.
I hope I answered some of your questions. Feel free to shoot me an email if you want to talk more. Hashtag good talk, hashtag the best.
Thank you so much. Hashtag like a boss. Hashtag stay golden.